So I didn't see this coming. This was really big news to me when I saw it last night, and I naturally said, yep, that's what I'm talking about tomorrow, because this is a really big deal, and in my opinion, a huge mistake by AT&T to do this. They should not get rid of their gaming division. So here's the headline if you're just listening. AT&T seeks sale for Warner Gaming unit. Could fetch about $4 billion, sources say. AT&T is considered selling its Warner Brothers gaming division for about $4 billion, sources say. Take-Two Interactive, Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard have all expressed interest in buying the unit, which owns titles including Mortal Kombat and Harry Potter Wizards Unite. AT&T is looking at divesting assets to service its almost $200 billion in debt. And that's the big thing right there. They have a lot of debt. I've talked about this a lot, particularly when it comes to them keeping DC Comics around. AT&T, they've got to do something about that huge, huge debt. And that's why they're looking to sell their gaming company. I think this is a huge mistake, though, considering the growth of gaming and how many people play video games. These companies actually bring in a lot of money. This isn't a DC Comics, okay? Now, DC Comics, by the way, would have... I don't think that they're going to sell DC Comics. I think that they're going to just get rid of floppies. I think they're going to do graphic novels, probably those Black Label books for a while because they sell and they're like $10, and probably just switch to digital and really just do probably Trinity books and stuff like that. That's my opinion. The floppy business to them just doesn't make sense. They don't understand it. And really, there's no money in it. That's what I personally think they're going to do. I'm not 100% saying that it's going to happen, but I see it happening because of the way that they're ruthlessly cutting things over at Warner. They've been doing it for a while, and this is a big one. Because unlike comic books, video games make a lot of money. Mortal Kombat makes a lot of money. Okay, they have so many games. Now, one of the things in this deal here is they would still be looking to make money off their IPs. So Rocksteady, the guys who make the Batman Arkham games, they're part of this deal. Now, the kicker, though, is with Rocksteady, if Rocksteady goes, Batman's not going with them. Okay, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they don't go with this deal. However, they would still, if they want to, be able to make those games. They just, of course, have to pay AT&T a kickback. What this reminds me of is when Disney sold LucasFilm, or LucasArts, the video game branch that they had. Lucas used to make all of his Star Wars games in-house, and then when Disney took over, they said, nah, we don't want to make video games anymore. And what they do, they license the Star Wars brand over to Electronic Arts, and now you, of course, have Electronic Arts milking Star Wars. Though I would say that Jedi Fallen Order is a fantastic game. So they're doing some things right. But anyway, that's what this is kind of like, in my opinion. I just think this is a huge mistake. They're going to get rid of a branch they have that's pretty functional and makes quite a bit of money. They can make that $4 billion pretty easy over time. So I'm just a little taken back by this one, but they're pretty desperate to get rid of debt. They have active hedge fund shareholders, one particular Elliott Management, which is probably pushing really hard for this stuff. And their whole game is to drive a stock up so they can sell it. So that might be one of the reasons that this is happening, though. I can't confirm that. It's just something that I've heard some people say, and it makes sense that that's probably what's going on here. I just think this is a shame and not a very good move to do at all. So this report here comes from a 20-minute video. They've got the keynotes here. Let's go over those and see what they say. So AT&T is discussing a sale of its Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment Gaming division in a deal that could fetch about $4 billion, according to people familiar with the matter. Take-Two Interactive Software, Electronic Arts, and Activision Blizzard have all expressed interest in buying the gaming division, said the people who asked not to be named because the discussions are private. No deal is assured or imminent, two of the people said. So this could change. This might not happen if they don't get the money they want, but it is being discussed. And in my opinion, it would be a huge mistake, AT&T, to get rid of your gaming unit, particularly when that type of entertainment has been growing. And there's no signs of that stopping. I don't think there's another video game crash coming. That brand of entertainment is just going to keep growing. So to dump that, especially when you have a good gaming unit, why would you get rid of that? It's not like you make slouch games. Most of them are pretty good and they sell. The big question here also is what happens to games that are in development? Do they get to keep the license to put those games out? I think it's a pretty known secret that Rocksteady is probably developing another Batman game. And that makes me wonder what's going on there. Is that going to be in trouble? Will they be able to put that out? Will they have to stop it and scrap it? Some interesting questions that can be asked here. So many of the video game titles within Warner Brothers Interactive are tied to Warner-owned intellectual property, including Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and the Lego Movie. The unit also owns the Mortal Kombat and Scribblenauts series. A deal might involve a commercial licensing agreement where AT&T continued to get revenue from its IP, the people said. Now, that's an actual interesting point there. Most of the games that come out of the WB Interactive gaming industry is, stuff like Batman, Harry Potter, Legos, stuff like that. So selling it without the license to use Warner Brothers stuff is kind of useless. Now, a lot of these studios are talented, and I think they could make other games, but in some ways this reminds me of Rare too. Remember Rare? They used to make great games when they were with Nintendo, and then they left Nintendo, and it's like the magic was gone. So I don't know if they'll be successful without Warner Brothers licensing or not. I think Rocksteady could make a fun game without Batman, but we'll see what happens. I mean, only time can tell if that works. It's an interesting deal, though. So they're going to for sure want revenue, like some royalties for using Batman in a video game, right? But I mean, if you're already paying them $4 billion and then you've got to give them money from your game anyway, doesn't seem like a very good deal. But, that can all be worked out in contract and stuff. So we'll see what happens. This is crazy. I really never expect them to sell it. But AT&T, I really think the only thing that they're interested in is, the big thing is streaming. Like I said, streaming is going to bring a lot of money, a lot of revenue. I think they just want to make streaming and movies and shows and stuff like that and make entertainment. That seems to be the main thing that they're interested in. I don't think they really care about video games or comics. They don't get it, they don't understand it, and they don't want it. But, you're a cell phone company, you have these guys who can make games, particularly mobile games. I think you would be interested in that. You could make exclusive AT&T gaming stuff. Like, I don't know. It just seems short-sighted to me. But like I said, they admit in here that no deal is assured or imminent, but it's the idea that they are talking to apparently 3 companies who are pretty interested in buying them. EA, man, imagine if they buy a WB Interactive Entertainment. Like, how much stuff do they own at this point? Man, imagine if Electronic Arts made a video game console. They almost have enough studios where they could do a lot of damage to Sony and Microsoft if they put out their own console. Wouldn't that be crazy? I think they discussed it once and didn't do it, but they would seriously be able to have massive market share with IP. So anyway, spokespeople at AT&T and Take-Two declined to comment. Spokespeople at EA and Activision weren't immediately available for comment. Former Warner Media CEO John Stankley is set to replace Randall Stevenson as the new chief executive officer at AT&T on July 1st. Stankley may look to divest assets after activist hedge fund Elliott Management took at $3.2 billion stake last year, calling for divestitures and leadership changes. Elliott called for AT&T to sell non-core assets, including DirecTV, a transaction Stankey hasn't been in favor of pursuing. Stankey said AT&T is focusing on a lot of work around portfolio rationalization at Morgan Stanley's Technology, Media, and Telecom conference in March. AT&T acquired Time Warner. Okay, well, we know the rest of the story. So that is what's going on, kind of in a nutshell. I don't know what's going to happen. So they're looking to get rid of it. This is what Elliott Management was pushing for. And it looks like they're getting something. They're getting leadership change, which is something they called for. This is what they do. They're very loud, little stakeholder, and they're just trying to make some money, which isn't in AT&T's best interest. AT&T should not sell this brand. I think it would be a huge mistake to get rid of their gaming division. But I don't know. They do need to get rid of some of that debt, and this would be a way to do it. So I guess we'll see what happens. This will be interesting to see because, what happens to the Warner IP. Do those go with it? This would be an interesting deal to watch happen and unfold. I think it's a mistake. There's a lot they could do with this where they'd make some good money and have good revenue coming in, but, we'll see what happens. Games are also expensive to make, but they're also cheap to make if you make, little mobile games, which you could for sure make exclusive to your phones. I don't get it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you think they'll do this? Do you think they'll actually sell it? How do you think it'll work if they sell it? What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the Batman game and stuff like that is in jeopardy if this goes through? What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear them. Also, throw a like up. Share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.